Welcome everyone to the 2024 Memorial Championships, starting out at Fountain Hills. This event is sponsored by Discraft and Spinners on the Green. The feature card is myself, Jennifer Allen, Ohn Scoggins,
and Katarina Staalesen Bjørkås, which is me, and Sofia Donnecke.
We have beautiful weather starting out for round one. This is the reason people live in Arizona.
I've really been enjoying this great weather. It's, coming from Norway over here playing, it's just amazing.
We're going to start out on hole one. This is 318 feet, crossing the out of bounds water the entire way across. You can play safe to the right. There is an OB line guarding that right side to keep you from going into hole four, as well as back there by Cowboy, who we all love because he helps us get all the ones that do find their way into the water back to us. So big shout out to Cowboy. Thank you so much for always returning our disc to us. Safely landing up there by the tree, about outside circle one edge.
Your first drive there, Jen, was really great. Good way to start the tournament.
Thank you.
And same with Ohn.
Ohn followed it up with the exact same drive.
Close to circle's edge.
Mm-hmm. Being your first event, it's always scary. The hole one, intimidating. You played it very safe.
Ended up a bit safer than I would like to, but I'm happy it stayed in bounds.
I think everyone's first experience playing this course is definitely a little nerve-wracking. And this shot is just as scary.
It is.
Well done.
I had to turn around, take a breath, and just think, okay, I got this.
And none of them are easy. This from Sofia, also complete death putt. All of these near the baskets are on a slope, so very easy to catch edge and roll back into the water OB. So Ohn's probably about, 38 feet or so. Gives us such a great strong bid. Hole one, going for circle two.
Yeah. And you last a putt, so close.
And it was one of those things, if I just like floated it up, I felt like maybe it would fall in and just dropped a hair too soon.
Yeah.
But I would not have ran that any more aggressively.
No, you don't want to be past the basket on that putt.
No. And here's our beautiful fountain.
So everyone tapping in for par on the first hole. Good start.
Absolutely.
Okay, then we have hole two, which is 703 feet. It's a par 5. There's a Mando on the right side, just in front of the tree. We have OB along the right side all the way, and then OB on the left side with the water.
Yeah, so the men play this as a par 4, women getting a par 5, which I think plays very well for us. I think that's a very... it should play like a par 5. Yeah. Ohn was fearful of injuring any birds.
It's in the middle. You didn't hit a single bird.
She was so worried. She did not want to throw. But
afraid of hitting the birds on the ground there, but they were all good.
Yes.
They flew away after we arrived.
Yes.
Got a bit closer.
No birds were harmed in the filming of these shots. Katarina with a great... You scared them.
Yeah, we did scare them a bit.
Yeah, but not hit. Sofia letting that go just a hair early and low, but really you just want to make sure that first shot is safe. I mean, really almost all of these shots. Just keep it safe. Don't get too aggressive. This looked like there was, because I know right behind the basket is open. And the OB line, like I'm explaining to Sofia, I really thought she was safe because the OB line kind of jets off to the right side. So unfortunately, she did find that right by hole 3's tee box.
When we arrived to Sofia's disc, we saw it was just a disc outside of the line, so it was
so
very close.
So close.
And like, you don't see
Very,
the rainbow
very
splatter out
safe.
much.
Yeah, I opted for a standstill on this one. It has been pretty slippery on the grass in the practice day, so I figured I'd just do a standstill and be in control of my shot.
Yeah, and I definitely playing really safe. It's round 1. He scared me. He was like really aggressively running. I was like, how did I go so far? But he was definitely just doing his job diligently.
Yes.
Had plenty of room. Ohn being a little more aggressive, and it pays off. Beautiful upshot. Does get that Fountain Hills roll. But the clover here definitely helps grab a lot of these shots.
Yeah. I opted for a pretty safe route around the tree, but with a stable putter so that it would fade towards the basket, and I ended up pretty close.
Yeah.
And Sofia as well. It's
This
a great
is a
shot.
beautiful shot. Yeah, coming in perfect. Gets a little skip. I think I was about 100 feet away. I'm just trying to keep my disc to land as flat as possible. Doesn't roll too far, catch edge. It's very easy to hit the basket, and you're going to roll down into that OB area.
You were pin high after your second drive.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I knew that there's a lot of room over there. But the way he ran, I was like, oh my gosh, like little scary. Beautiful putt for Ohn. That's for birdie. This is also a beautiful birdie putt. So Sofia able to save the par even with that out of bounds stroke. So we almost star frame birdied that, kinda. It's a great hole.
Just a easy tap in birdie for you.
That's how you like them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hole number 3. This is 294 feet. This is a par 3 OB lining that entire right side, and also comes in very tight around the basket at circle 1's edge, all around the back and the left side of it. Even kind of coming in, there's a little small triangle area there on the left that you can also find, as well as the sidewalk. And I this is one of my favorite little holes. But
oh my gosh.
that's the hard part about playing your home course. When they painted the lines, I found OB long, so I tried to like throw it a little softer.
Yeah.
No.
You gave it a little too much of an
It was
enhancer there.
so bad. This isn't. This looks beautiful.
It was a little low,
but safe.
But it's safe.
I mean, I guess next year maybe I could even just do like a putter. You just really want to land safe. This is definitely a great birdie run, I think, for the women. But this elevated basket definitely increases the difficulty, as well as the OB lining the entire hole.
Yeah. You really want to be like within 5 meters of the basket. But being too close on this one is also hard because it's so high, it's so elevated. So, yeah.
Oh.
Sofia's run here was great. So close to making that one.
Just a gentle.
Just a gentle 40-foot putt to a basket 15 feet in the air.
You don't want to be too aggressive, though. If you miss the basket, you might fly pretty far past if you give it too much. So her bid was really good. Ohn here with the only birdie on our card for this hole. And I opted to not put down my mini on that one because I wanted the additional distance from the basket so it wasn't too steep of an angle.
Yeah, very smart, because it definitely was not designed to go in a basket at that angle.
Then we head over to hole 4, which is an island hole. It's 250 feet. The basket is fully surrounded by OB at about circle's edge. The OB line is at these signs, so you can get inside and lean up towards and still be in bounds. Ohn's drive here just a tiny bit short, very close to making it in bounds.
Yeah, and very common to have a side wind here to kind of push it more towards the sidewalk. That was a beautiful drive, almost hitting metal. We have Sofia going with a hyzer, let go a little too far on that left side.
Yes.
Wall keeps her in. I love the Cayman. Such a great disc. I love it for those 250-foot shots.
I threw my Champion T-Bird, which is my go-to disc for the around 250 high shot.
Oh,
Ohn very close to making it from the drop zone.
and she's, you know, the best putter in the world. We expect her to almost make all of those.
Yeah.
Looked like it was in from our side. We have all the wonderful walkers, the people who live in Fountain Hills, the dog walkers, and just getting their exercise. And they're so great to watch us and cheer us on all week long. So thank you to everyone out there in Fountain Hills. Makes this park really fun to be at.
I had a couple of nice experiences during my practice round. I was throwing alone, but people stopped. They watched me throw. They gave me high fives and said good throws, and it was very. They cheered me on a lot.
Yeah, it's a very welcoming community, and because we kind of take over this park for the week, so they enjoy us coming every year. It's awesome. All right, hole number 5, 441 feet. This is a par 3 downhill shot with the OB along the road here on the right side. Comes around the back side as well, which is about 10 feet from the basket. That planter there on the right with the rocks and the aloe is also OB. I always find that this is a fun one to throw off the tee because you get the downhill, the sloping fairway. Like, it's just a beautiful shot.
I think it was a fun one too. I would have liked to gotten a bit more of a turn on my disc before it faded, but
I did that for you.
Yeah, you did. You had plenty of turn on your disc.
Yeah. I've definitely have found myself in there multiple times, so I fear that's right where it went to. We had this gentleman walking his beautiful golden retriever that we kind of were nervous that he was going to come up the fairway, but he keeps that beautiful dog down on the road. Oh, there he comes.
We saw Sofia's shot ending just on top of the hill, and then Ohn opting for landing a bit more to the left side.
Yeah, with Ohn's forehand shot, that's a great place for her to land. Sets her up with a lot more open approach than on the right side where this guardian tree really protects the basket because the branches hang so low. You're having to kind of shoot underneath that tree, and that's kind of that hill and the tree. The branches are just really not that far apart. So very tough line to hit.
Yeah, I ended up a little short. I do not throw a lot of forehands, but I told myself I will not get better at it if I don't try.
That's right.
So I committed fully to that one. Should have maybe gone with a a disc that flies a bit longer, but I was happy with my try, even though it was a bit short.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a common thing to. That one I went for, it was such a roller coaster of a shot. I went from thinking I was going to get stuck in the branches to almost going in. But yeah, this grass is so grabby that a lot of people try to shoot underneath there like you did, and it's just very difficult to hit that line correctly. So good attempt on saving it. It's Ohn for par.
We didn't really see Ohn throwing that second shot. We only saw the disc flying in, but she went with a forehand on the far left side of the tree, just to be sure she didn't hit anything on her way.
And there were no birdies on this hole. It's a hard one for the women to get. It was averaging 0.46 over par.
So there was par for the three of you, and then I took a bogey on this one. And then we're headed over to hole 6. It's 233 feet. It's uphill with a big tree right in front of the tee. So you either have to go above it or through, or on the left side. Someone opts for a forehand on the left side. On the right side of the basket, there is a steep hill going down towards the road, so if you end up there, there's a big chance you'll get a roll down and out in OB.
Definitely so. For a 230-foot shot, it's definitely a challenging hole. The olive trees here, these are beautiful olive trees, they're known just to grab your disc, and we do have a 2-meter rule for this event, so sometimes you can get an extra penalty shot on this hole. Huge hyzer. Do you get to throw those much in Norway?
Not this huge.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say so.
You guys throw through the trees there, not over them, right?
Yeah. So Sofia's first shot was a bit too low. Got stopped by the tree, but her upshot was great.
She's very dialed in on those approaches.
Yes.
And you can see this huge slope behind you. Awesome putt for birdie.
Putt was close to circle's edge. It wasn't that scary putting this way because we're putting away from the hill.
Definitely the
on
smart
the other
side. Yeah.
would be much more scary.
Yeah, this one's, I think, more of a death putt than the water, because like the comeback putt is really far away from the basket and steep uphill. So we have a couple of birdies here.
You putted from inside the circle.
Yeah,
or
it
the
was
bullseye on this one.
pretty
Your,
close.
Drive was pinpointed.
Thank you. Big shout out to all the sponsors that are bringing you this amazing coverage. We're heading over to hole number 7. This is 210 feet. This is our first peninsula hole, a par 3 that you can be aggressive and throw maybe like a putter right across, or take a little safer route over on the right side and kind of hyzer in around the back side of this olive tree. So I'm going with the AVR X, just trying to halfway be aggressive and halfway not. But the OB does come up right behind us on this hole as well. So pretty much surrounded there along the left side and around. Ohn goes right at it and nails it.
Beautiful shot. I went with a rock 3.
Perfect
tried to
distance.
hyzer and get the skip towards the basket. Fortunately skipped a bit too far and ended up out of bounds.
And it's usually not the skip, but it'll catch edge and roll. And so you can almost throw the exact same shot the next day and it might land safe. It's just so hard to tell. It really depends on how it hits the ground.
Sofia opting for a bit more safe route, going outside around the tree, having a soft bit.
Yeah, and going with a safe drive, you wouldn't expect her to really run that. Like she was going for par. And so risky putt anywhere near this basket. And this isn't the easiest
do you have your
putting
You have a pole?
for a foot stance. Like the stance around this gunite is sometimes very difficult for a nice footing.
I tried to measure my 3 feet in from the water, but ended up standing in the hill, so I chose to take it a step back
Smart.
to have a more flat stance.
And it's
Didn't
still
give it
it's such a
enough,
scary
but
putt.
yeah, it is. You don't want to go
Mm-mm.
over to the other side, miss the putt, and then go in the water on the on the other side of the basket. So I tapped in a bogey on this one, Sofia a par, Ohn having this left for birdie, and then a par for you as well.
Yeah, a par on this hole is great. I don't think it's really losing too many strokes. We actually, that averaged a perfect par.
Looks like 1 birdie, 1 bogey, and then rest par on that one.
All right.
Yeah, hole 8. This is a 570 feet par 4. Right off the tee on the left side, there's a big tree, so you want to go around on the right side. You have some trees guarding up on top of the hill. First shot, you want to land as close to the top of the hill as possible. Then you might be able to see the basket on the next shot, which makes it a lot easier. The basket on this one is also out on a peninsula.
Are you kidding me?
So we all kind of were just starting to tag the trees here. So I squared the very last tree over on that left side. I like taking it over on the left. I used to go straight at it, but like you said, it's a big hill, and so it's sometimes hard if you don't make it all the way up on that hill to be able to see the basket. So Sofia hitting the tree as well, getting a little bit of a roll back, which is actually kind of nice, gives her a little more open look.
Going with a pretty stable driver, trying to get past the second tree. We can't see it here, but having a pretty open shot.
And that's such a hard shot. I mean, that's probably, I'm assuming, where Sofia was trying to land, maybe a little bit further, but taking the knee, like, of course she's not trying to go too far, just probably trying to still save par on the hole.
I ended up a little short of the top of the hill, couldn't see the basket, had to throw a bit upward, so I opted to go with a mid-range and just try to get down on the other side and having a look at the basket on my next throw.
Yeah, smart play. And that is a Mando tree, but it's for the next hole for MPO. So if you did see that Mando sign, that's for the next hole. Going with a Rock X3. I think I was like 265 feet or so still from the basket.
Could you see the basket from your position?
No, but
Jennifer.
but I know where it is in reference to that tree. But
That's something you learn after playing this course many times.
yes, you can get over there to the left though and easily see the basket, which is why I like going to that left side.
Sofia playing a hyzer towards the basket, ending up around circle's edge on that one. That tree is just inside the circle.
And there's 3 peninsula holes that we play here in a row, and they're all just, you know, you want to get that approach like either right there close or maybe not too far away so you don't feel bad laying up, you know, because running these putts it's scary. Now we got the fountain back on. That fountain generates its own wind source. It's pumping 7,000 gallons a minute. So it's unbelievable how much power that fountain puts off. You can see the waves now coming across that pond.
This is Sofia for her par. Very close.
It's a great bid when you're just staring at water. Such a beautiful hole too. Like,
Yes.
even though the fountain is a little scary and so is the water, it just makes for such a beautiful setting.
So this is Jen with a birdie putt.
And there were 3 birdies on the day. Myself, Kimberly Dickerson, and Violet Main also birdied this hole, but it still averaged above par. So great hole, challenging, but yet gettable. Just like that, we are 1 hole left from wrapping up this front 9. Hole number 9 is 285 feet. This is a par 3. The FPO does play a shorter tee area than the men, so we're shooting straight across the water, as well as that water comes up right behind the basket. I would say maybe 15 feet. Anything landing on the edge here typically is going to find its way down into the water. I'm begging. I'm doing everything I can. Like my disc hears me begging. You used to be able just to throw that straight, but with that fountain on it, it definitely didn't let it come in as quick as it typically does.
All right, sip. I lost 3 Ds in this one.
So Ohn clearly not going as aggressive as she did in practice, saying that she lost 3 discs. Hopefully she will get those back. I know Cowboy will do his best to get them back to Ohn.
I scared myself a bit with this throw. I was going a bit too low, so I wanted to give it a bit more height so we could fade towards the basket, but ended up pretty close going in the water.
And you have to be careful going aggressive along that backside. I was really surprised that Sofia stayed safe, because anything past that tree typically hits, and it may hit land but does go down into the water. So Sofia getting a break there. Great approach, no putt needed, and that's what you want.
On this one. No, you don't want to have a putt here. Ohn, I think she said, I'm laying this one up, and it looked like a real bid from Ohn on this one.
Yeah, she was a very aggressive layup, Ohn. We'll have to wait and see if she stayed in. A little safer approach by Sofia. Such a scary putt, but you know, you hate to get so close and just lay it up. It's in that range. It's like 25 feet. You're like, man, I really don't want to lay this up.
Just have to fully commit to the putt and do it like it was no water there.
Well, and I told myself, like, I cannot hit this low, because if you hit it low, it typically rolls into the water. So I wanted to make sure I had enough height that wasn't going to happen. I'm more worried about the rolling in the water than missing the basket and going all the way past to the water. So scary area, but we are done with the front 9, and we are done with the peninsula holes. So easier putts coming up. Myself shooting 4 down so far, followed by Ohn, Hannah, and Violet coming in from the other cards. And Katarina, you are right there behind. So awesome round so far. Let's wait and see what happens on the back 9.